All right. Well, I am going to talk about what I was going to talk about earlier when I was on the phone dealing with this ride situation, and I was on the phone and I was on hold and I was thinking, and I was just like ruminating and everything. And I was just like, this is just a prime example of the problem. And I was just like, of the problem, like it was a metaphor basically of the problem, and like it's like the last war, and I have it written down here as Plague of Capitalism. And it's like, it's true. It is fucking true. It's like the plague of capitalism that has just washed over the entire world. And I know there's this story, this lie that has permeated not only the United States, not only the Western world, which is the white people world, but now the entire the entire developed civilized world, which is capitalism is great, and it's basically the reason for all of modern growth and everything and modern civilization. But I would like to argue a counterpoint. Capitalism is nowhere really in there. It isn't the growth. It isn't the reason for all of that. You know what the reason for that is? The Enlightenment era. The rationalism era. All of that stuff. Capitalism is just feudalism, pre-medieval mercantilism, monarchism, all of that crap, even the Roman Empire kind of trade interaction, all of that shit. It's just the evolution of barter systems with currencies thrown in. All of that just mutating and getting more complex. And you just gave it another name. That's all it is. It's just stuff. Instead of going from one person to one person, one institution in the same city, a store to another store to another store, having 3 stores in the same city. Now it's 2 cities doing it, and now it's 4 cities doing it. Now it's city-states working each other in the same nation. Now it's multiple nations, bigger and bigger and bigger. Now you have trade routes and everything. Now we have developed formalized systems of it, and now they need to give it a name because we have universities and everything. So they first gave it a name, and it was called mercantilism. And mercantilism is kind of like, it has like trade protectionism and stuff like that. And so now they have capitalism, and it's kind of an evolution of it, perhaps. But basically, all of these things were rich people protecting their riches and being greedy and hoarding crap and saying, mine is mine and fuck you. And I'm going to protect my shit. And in protecting my stuff, the action and act of doing that means I am going to keep everyone else from attaining more than they can and kind of breaking out. That actually was a little bit reasonable for most of human existence, actually, because most of human existence was kind of, um, you know, just getting by. It was subsistence. You, for the most part, were able to grow, create, whatever, enough for yourself and the people around you. And bit by bit, societies began to develop little bits of technology and knowledge, not just like physical technology, but knowledge that allowed people to magnify their ability to like grow food, for example. That's just one thing, but grow food that was not just one unit, me making enough food for me, but me and my son making enough food for the whole family of six, whatever, seven people. And then the other people in the family can provide all the other things. And maybe throughout the course of the year, some other things. And then throughout the course of a lifetime, maybe some other things, which then can be passed on to the next family and the next family and the next family. So, maybe. But that's when the Enlightenment and shit like that happened. I don't know what they call it other than the Enlightenment, but it's the Enlightenment era, basically. And it hits mainly with the telescope and the microscope, which are two sides of the same coin. I think the telescope was the thing that came first. So, yeah, the church did not like that. And yeah, after that, that was like, that was it. That's the thing that started destroying everything right there. So, once you had a telescope, it was kind of just a matter of time. They started that, and then like people started developing simple machinery too. After that, you had clockworks. It was off to the races. You had people writing treatises. You had printing presses. I mean, you can study history if you want to. If you want to really go deeper into it, but that's it. Now, the main thing what I want to get into is what I'm really talking about here when I talk about the plague of capitalism. The plague of capitalism is what needs to be resolved. And that's what I was thinking about, because all the time when I was on this phone, I was like, this is some severe bullshit. And it was pissing me off more and more and more as I was fucking on hold on this phone. I was just like, this is bullshit. I'm trying to like get back on my train of thought. And you know, this feeds into a lot of things, by the way. This feeds into anyone my age should kind of intuitively, viscerally know. If you're my age, 40, somewhere between 35 and 50, you should know, just inside somewhere, that capitalism is bullshit. All right, you should feel it inside you that it's bullshit. All right. I don't know how you don't know that it's bullshit, other than you've been brainwashed to a degree that is, I mean, there's no word for it other than brainwashing. Damn it. And I don't know exactly what a lot of people take as capitalism, but capitalism is, what I mean by it is kind of the soft power forcing people to do shit they don't want to fucking do through the use of money. I would say something like 90% of people on the planet work a job they don't want to fucking do, and maybe even hate, in order to fulfill their basic needs. Now, maybe you disagree that 90% is the correct number, but it's probably something 50 to 90%. So, what number do you put it at? I don't know. I don't think we need that many people doing that. I don't think we need anyone doing a job they don't want to fucking do. And I think rich people know that better than anyone else, because they are not doing anything. The richest people know that more than anyone because they are not doing anything. They do what they want all the time, and the world still goes round and round. So if they can do it, everybody else can do it. And I know that because there's more than 8 billion people on the planet. So I know that all you have to do is rearrange all the pieces where shit needs to go and where shit wants to go, and everything will keep working fine. Rich people just don't want this to happen, because then they won't have money and they won't have authority and power, whatever word you want to use, in order to go to Epstein's Island and fuck little kids, because almost all, 99.999% of these rich people are doing things that if we had that kind of world, they would be the ones in prison. They wouldn't be the only ones in prison, but they would definitely be in prison. Now, the release, the revelation that the Epstein files are actually a real thing, I would put forth that that fact actually proves that this is true. And Trump's in the Epstein files. I mean, I think everyone should be able to agree by now that's a fact. And not to mention how many other people are in the Epstein files that are, I mean, like all the people, I mean, like they're all rich and they're all powerful. Like there's other people in there, I'm sure, but who are they? So, yeah. Uh, Again, plague of capitalism. Why is it plague? Because uh, what is it really doing? All it's doing is, I mean, is it really creating, I mean, the vast majority of, is it creating good stuff? Or is it just creating the Breezamax and a whole bunch of other crap like that? I mean, the textile industry, modern fashion and stuff. We really don't need all that. We have plenty of clothing. We don't need all of that. So I mean, there's just plenty of examples like that. Hold on. You know, I was really angry before, and I was like full of rage before when I was on that phone, just waiting and waiting. And I'm not anymore, of course. And I don't remember exactly what I was thinking. I had much better points in my head going on. As is always the thing, when I'm not fucking looking at the camera, I have much better shit to say. But whatever. I know that a lot of the indirect effects of capitalism are causing uh, destruction of the planet. Essentially, it's greed at any expense, which is, you know, why you see, I mean, it's been going on for 200, maybe 400 years. You saw it in Europe before it happened in the United States. The wholesale clear cutting of forests in Europe, and then they moved to New England, and they just wiped out forests. And you moved through America, and then just on westward and stuff, and then started cutting down forests, lumber, and went coal mining, do all that stuff. And it's easy to blame white people, but it's that capitalist system where uh, greed and colonialism and expansion at the cost of anything to basically the natural world and modernization at any cost. Without any real consideration to long-term thinking or planning for usually more than yourself is the basest form of capitalism. Sometimes there were a few capitalists that had a little bit more vision than others. And I mean, like Henry Ford, he had to constantly fight his board when he wanted to he wanted to give his employees more money. His board was like totally against it. It was like, no, they sued him. His board sued him. They fought him in court, and he was like, no. He was just like, no. I forget exactly how he won out against the board. But I don't know, maybe he bought out the company or some shit like that, but somehow he made it happen. And it was a good choice. It worked out for the company because then his employees could buy the fucking cars. And it was a good business deal for the company because they sold more fucking cars. And I mean, it was what a brilliant fucking business decision. It wasn't even like, oh, I'm a humanitarian. It was like, no, I know we're going to be able to sell more shit. We are going to be able to sell more shit. I am. And the other businesses are going to be able to sell more shit because my employees are going to have more money. So I'm going to be able to sell more stuff. The other places. So he wasn't even like protecting the world or anything. He was just like, I know how stuff works. You ignorant fucks. So if we're just a little bit less greedy, we'll actually be more rich. We just have to wait 5 seconds longer. It's like that's kind of what China is doing right now. Just fucking wait a little while longer to come, and we'll be able to come 5 more times or something. I don't know what the sex analogy is. whatever. But yeah, Donald Trump is a shithead. He's an idiot. Or, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on inside his mind, but Republicans suck ass. They have no idea how to lead. They never have. Republicans, I mean, conservatives in general are just, if you buried all conservatives underneath a graveyard, I don't even know if they would make good, seasoning for grass. Because, I mean, I don't know. The earth might be like, yeah, I don't know what to do with this. The worms would be like, yeah, I don't really like the taste. It kind of tastes like shit. So I think I'm gonna move on to greener pastures. So yeah, that's what you get. Anyways, look, my phone beeped. And when I was done with all that, my phone was at 4% because I was just on hold for so long. It sucked up all my phone power. But yeah, that's why I call capitalism a plague, because it's it's like someone that just wants to keep eating and eating and eating and eating, and it's like that island, that island with the Moai statues. They kept supposedly that island had trees and all sorts of. The reason there's nobody there anymore is because they built a statue. They built one, and they were like, great, excellent, whatever, and they had to cut down trees and harvest rock and do blah 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 to do one of those, right? And they were like, great, that's excellent. And they were like, okay, let's do another one. And great. But it's an island, right? In the Pacific or something. Which means there's limited stuff. Well, they just kept on repeating that, and at some point they ran out of trees and quarryable rock or something. And when they did that, they ran out of everything that the island had to eat and make houses and everything else, and then their population just died. Because they used up all the stuff to build religious crap. So they were just like, well, we have nothing else, and we don't have anything to make boats out of to travel elsewhere. So now we just die. Should we do that here on Earth? We just keep digging up oil and everything and just keep polluting Earth until we just die? Because that's capitalism. We just keep having a fuckfest until we just die. That's what capitalism does. Just keep eating everything around until there's nothing left, until it's so screwed over that There's not enough to rebuild, and there's too many people. Right now we're at like kind of a dangerous point where we're getting close to the point of no return. And there are a lot of people, some would call them conservatives, others would call them idiots. And those are the people that are just like, yeah, I don't believe in that. I know you don't believe in it, but why don't you try jumping off a cliff and just say, I don't believe in it, I don't believe in it, I don't believe in it until you hit the ground. And, you know, the person behind you, that's going to be the person that is going to bury you. And uh, I don't, we're just going to not need to bury people because you and all your friends are just going to like make a big pile until, well, somebody's finally going to live because, it's going to be a nice, comfy, mushy pile, but it's going to be kind of nasty. It's going to be a little disgusting, but they're going to live eventually. Like, seriously. Like, it's the sudden stop that kills you. You do not have to believe in it. Seriously. Like, why do you have to, like, I don't believe in climate change. So, do you believe in pollution? I mean, do you see that crap that those power plants are kicking out? Like, I mean, it looks a lot like a bunch of tires that are burning, and I mean, they look the same. So, I mean, do you want to use that to power the world, or do you want to use a solar panel? I mean, they both put out electricity. So, I mean, it's like one, you burn stuff and that produces black smoke. The other sits there and puts out electricity, and it's just like, why don't you sit on top of the pipe and just like put your face right in there and be like, ooh, smells like yummy. Just sit right there for like 5 seconds, and then put your face right on top of a solar panel for 5 seconds, and just like after that, why don't you make a fucking decision between the two? All right, like that's the challenge. Pipe of a coal, gas, whatever plant, solar panel. If that doesn't fucking convince you between the two, then, I mean, now we've really got to fucking, you have to be an idiot after that. I mean, seriously. And the same thing for a car. Put your mouth on the tailpipe of a car and start sucking that shit in versus an electric car. Even though cars today are a lot cleaner, still suck that in. Again, you gotta be a true believer. I don't want to hear any of the arguments about like sourcing and whatever. So, yeah. I mean, come on. What are we really doing here? What are really the arguments from conservatives? They're all bullshit. You, you, they're all. So, I mean, yeah. That's what I say. Plague of capitalism. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And, you know, it's really got to go. It's a system that, like religion, is built on control. It's built on controlling your mind, controlling your body, controlling you and everything about you so that you are a slave, either explicitly or implicitly, as much as possible to the same class of person that has existed for the past 10,000 years. You need to understand this. It needs to be made clear to you. I don't know how more people are not understanding this. Everything about capitalism is a slave system, and it's not just for black people, Latinos, people of non-white color. It's also for white people. It's for anybody that isn't the top rich people. The only way you're not in that slave system is if you are really rich. So if you're like, I have $100 million, you're just barely breaking out. Just barely. And they still look at you as poor. You're a poor rich person. And they're desperately trying to take all your money, by the way. The rich people, they're fighting at each other. That's the other thing. They hate each other in the way that they want to take each other's money. That's how fucked up they are. So, yeah. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, it's like you watch Willy Wonka. They're that fat German kid. Except they're all that fat German kid. And you know, we really need to wipe them out. It's time to expunge all of these people from humanity. The plague. The last plague that's left on planet Earth. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Trump sucks at everything. Even sucks at war, which you would think. I mean, you would think these people at least know how to make war. I mean, and the Jews too. It's like these people don't even know how to. Whatever. You think they would have gotten their shit together at least a little bit before they started that thing? It's like seriously. You have all this huge stockpile of weapons and you can't even crush a little. I mean, I realize the landmass is kind of big, but seriously? What were you thinking? I don't know. I realize a lot of generals and stuff had advised against that, apparently, for like every whatever, but it's Iran. I mean, by now, didn't you have like enough satellite surveillance and everything to know basically where stuff is? And couldn't you have moved enough crap into position? I don't know. I guess they just drastically underestimated the capabilities. And they were just like, yeah, sure, 30 planes will be enough. It's just like, well, what 30 might be enough, but why not do it with 300 or 5,000 or just everything you have and do it in one fucking strike? Maybe that's too suspicious. I don't know. Because isn't Iran like 10 times the land, the size of Iraq or something like that? Well, I hadn't really noticed how big Iran was, and then when I first took a look at it, I was like, shit, that is a lot fucking bigger than Iraq. And like, we just moved through Iraq. But the difference between Iran and Iraq is we actually did a combined arms approach. Didn't just do airstrikes. Actually, did airstrikes with tanks and mobile infantry, all coordinated at the same time. It was planned and it was coordinated. And this thing was just like Leroy fucking Jenkins again. In true Trump sucks at everything fashion. It was fucking Leroy Jenkins. Like Like Secular Talks, Kyle Kulinski says, it was given to Secretary of War Pete Kegsbreath. It was just like, yeah, sure, let's do this. Let's just go in there and just like, pew, 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 pew. Mission accomplished. It's like, no, mission not accomplished. No. I was trying to like be like, we got a deal done. I'm like, no, you didn't, because Israel just wants to keep fighting. Oh, Israel wants to keep fighting, all right. They want to keep fighting, but they don't have any fucking weapons without us, apparently. So maybe, I don't know. How many weapons do we even have left, like, to give them? Like, aren't we gonna, like, do we still make weapons? Like, I don't know how this works. Like, are we making weapons anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, do we have weapons factories? Like, making, like, it supposedly takes us like weeks or months to make a Tomahawk missile. So like, they're not getting like 5 Tomahawk missiles a day to throw over Iran, and they're not getting like 50 bombs a day to bomb. So if they're like bombing the shit out of Lebanon and Syria and Iran every day, and they're only using ours, and they're not making their own shit, then no one's gonna have munitions to drop. Unless, I mean, like, the parade's gonna be over soon. I mean, like, that's what I'm curious about. Like, what's going on? Really, what's going on? So anyway, whatever. All right, that's a lot of stuff. It's a long video for me to be just ranting on. Suck it, Quebec. Uh, um, yeah. Uh, tax rich need to have the rich. Tax wealth not work. Boobs. Lots of boobs.